Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we have a lot of interesting topics to go over. So a lot of people are talking about this tweet and having many different reactions to it. To sum it up, basically this user, like many others, are saying that they sometimes have an aversion to content creators that have female VTuber models accompanied by a male-sounding voice. And some people are offended by this, and personally, as someone who is quite literally described by this tweet, I will say I am not in any way offended by this. I think this is a very fair thing to say. It's called a preference. You are allowed to have a preference in the entertainment that you consume. Now, before I get into the deep levels of why I have this VTuber model and some of the hate that I've gotten in response to it, I want to give you guys the simple answer to everything we're going to talk about today. Rev, why do you and other people like you have a model like this? The answer is simple. I like cute things. Cute anime girls are pleasant to look at, and it really doesn't get much deeper than that. And I also know a lot of you guys like to look at cute anime characters as well. In fact, you like looking at cute anime characters on merch. Well, I have good news for you guys, because we have another merch drop with UwuMarket, who I consider the most respected merch company in the VTubing scene. We have worked with them in the past. They're always a delight, and you guys love their merch. We are having a new Rev winter themed merch drop that is live the second this video went public, and it is a banger featuring artwork like this that is just looking clean. Okay, look at some of the stuff we got in this drop. More high quality hoodies with some amazing art on it, sweatpants. We got this cute mug here, another mouse pad, which by the way continues to be the highest selling item in every merch drop. You guys really love their mouse pads, and you convinced me to get one for myself. It's sitting right in front of me as I record this video. And you might have also noticed this little gremlin down here. It is a Rev Padaru keychain. I know you guys are going to eat that up. And speaking of that design, you might want to pause this video and run, because this is a very limited time offer. The first 10 customers who purchase from this winter merch line will get a free Rev Padaru standee. Yes, only 10 people, so you want to act fast because time is ticking the second this video went live. But yes, that is the merch drop. I appreciate the support that I know I'm going to get on this one. You guys love UwuMarket, and I love working with them. And yes, check out the link in the pinned comment to check out the new line. But back to the tweet in question. There's a lot I want to talk about today. I've gotten a lot of questions about my model over the years, and I want to settle down and condense a lot of my answers to them into one video, one source to answer these sorts of questions in the future, because I am approaching next month my 2-year anniversary since my VTuber model debut. It's actually been that long. So let's read this tweet. It says, nice female VTuber model. Check. Very expressive. Check. Nice taste in games. Well, I am a washed up World of Warcraft player, so check. I should check them out. Open stream, man voice. Close stream and wipe all memory of it from my mind. And we'll get into this a little bit more later in the video, but I am totally cool with a response like this that describes someone like me. This is called a preference. You're allowed to have a preference in the entertainment that you are consuming. So let's answer the burning question, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you have this model? Well, the simple answer, like I said earlier, is that cute anime girls are fun to look at. It's pleasant, okay? When I'm recording videos, when I'm editing and streaming and doing things like that, I would rather look at a cute anime character than or a cute female anime character than a male character. It's just my simple preference. And this goes back to some ancient lore, my origin story of this whole train of thought. So now go back in time, middle school Rev, okay? I'm playing World of Warcraft. Burning Crusade just released, and with Burning Crusade came a new race of playable characters, Blood Elves. If you don't know Blood Elves, they're just sexy elves, okay? And a lot of people started playing them for the simple reason that they wanted to look at these cute characters. Now, I thought it was weird back then to play those characters, especially the female ones, okay? I played a male undead, and I was in the Barrens, okay? And some female Blood Elf character stole my kill. And we got into the private messages and we were going back and forth. Gamer words were exchanged. Don't get mad at me. I was literally in middle school Twitter, okay? And eventually this guy, it was a guy playing the female character, he said to me, hey, yo, man, what do you think's more gay? Playing a male character and staring at a male ass all day? Or playing a hot female elf and staring at hers all day? And this really opened my third eye, ladies and gentlemen. This made a lot of sense to me. I was completely dumbstruck. I was caught like a deer in headlights. I was bested. I was owned. I was hit with facts and knowledge, okay? I couldn't do anything about it. And from that point forward, I play a lot of female characters. I'd say most of my characters to this day I play are female characters because I just like looking at them because it's pleasant to look at cute anime characters, okay? It's as simple as that. But anyways, I've gone with this train of thought all the way to my Vtuber model, which of course is a female model. And this has caused hate from many different angles, okay? I have been hated on for my model by both extremes, okay? On the far right, there's people out there who hate me because they think I'm trans, okay? They assume that I'm trans because of this model, and they attack me for it on a regular basis. Then there's people on the far left who also think I'm trans, but worse yet, there's a subsection of them who think I'm an egg. Now, in case you're not familiar with the term egg, it is one primarily used by groomers who believe that people, mostly children, are secretly trans, but they just don't know it yet. So you have to push them, aka groom them, into becoming trans. I, as a full-grown man, has had many people publicly say these things towards me and that they need to crack the egg, referring to me, which is some of the most disturbing, weird stuff that's ever been said about me, and it makes me very concerned about what these people are saying to other people in private, because if they're so comfortable saying this in public, God knows what they're doing behind the scenes. But basically, these are people at the end of the day, I get over this because there are people on Twitter who can't even tie their own shoes, and they're sitting here trying to theorize about my identity, okay? It just goes to show you that gender identity politics obsessed people are just losers who are dumbfounded by the simplistic enjoyment of looking at cute anime girls, and it's as simple as that, okay? Now, I've also been asked this question a lot, and someone raised this in the replies. So this person said, yo, real quick, is your model a trap male or lolly female? I mean, no animosity or ill will with this question, just trying to settle a minor debate with a friend. Now, I have answered this sort of question before in the past, and basically my answer is, it's whatever you want it to be. I don't care. I don't associate any of this stuff with my actual identity in real life, so you can have whatever thought process you want about this model, go for it. If you want to think it's a trap character and we're doing a crouching tiger, hidden schlong, that's up to you. Good for you if you think that way. If you think it's a female model or anything like that, again, good for you. The only thing I've ever asked when it comes to artwork and things like that is just no extreme fetishes or things involving random VTubers and other third parties where you're putting them in uncomfortable situations, like if it's sexual art or something like that. And also just keeping in mind I'm a controversial VTuber, okay? I don't want people getting dragged into drama or anything or judged or attacked because they're featured in artwork with me. Okay, that's pretty much all I ask. But here's another point that people raised in their reply saying, you don't watch Red videos? His man voice over his lolly avatar made me immune to that shit, like already, LOL. So basically, I think a lot of my viewers are long since comfortable with this, okay? I knew when I had this model it would make some people uncomfortable, but I also knew that if you were a fan of my content, you would get over it. You would get used to it. And it probably took a video for you to get used to hearing this voice coming out of this model, and it's probably just normal to you at this point. And I think there's a good point of comparison of kind of how this is perceived by people even outside of my community. So a couple times over the past few months, Asmongold has reacted to some of my videos. And his community is definitely more open to anime and VTubers than they used to be in the past because Asmongold has talked about and played more of that kind of stuff. But they're still, they have a bit of an aversion to anime and things like that. So whenever he reacts to my videos, there's some people who just hear the voice and they just can't go on. They can't listen to it anymore, and that's fine. That's their preference. But, there's a lot of other people who in the first minute of hearing the voice and their first introduction to me, they're just going to spam the chat with weird champ and ayayas and things like that. And then after a minute, they get over it and they just listen to it, and it doesn't bother them the same way it did when it first was introduced to them. And I think that's kind of really the experience of a lot of people. But moving forward, there's another set of interactions here and talking about how some people they consume my content because I have the female model, but I just get to the content and cover what I do, and they get me for a news source or things like that. And this whole thing about some people making a joke who have the same sort of, pattern in place like me with a female model, male voice, they make jokes about it, and like I do, and they could, in theory, play this this route of saying, I'm actually a woman and you're a bigot. You know, I could play that card if I really wanted to. When this first happened, I could have been immune to Twitter criticism by basically saying, you guys are a bunch of bigots for assuming this, you know, but that's not the route I wanted to go. And it's just, again, it's not that deep. It's just a female model with a male voice because I like looking at a female character. But this would be an interaction that's important because, you know, who is this tweet about? Well, it wasn't really about anyone. I think it was pretty in general, and that's how people were replying. But one VTuber in particular took offense to this and made it about them. And it's this person right here saying, hold this L for me, chief, which I don't understand, with a picture, of course, of their VTuber model. It's very strange because this interaction kind of tells me everything I need to know about this. So the original poster said, well, sorry, just not for me, where the VTuber would reply saying, get a load of this guy. I'm sorry, are people not allowed to have preferences? This is about as, I would say, polite of a response as they could have given you, and you were still rude to them. You're allowed to have a preference in the entertainment that you consume, and if you think someone is wrong or stupid for having a preference, it tells me you're probably pretty entitled, because nobody has to like you for your VTuber model or your voice. You're not entitled to that. So if people have preferences, that's too bad. And you weren't even named in this situation. You still made it all about you. And mainly my thing here is that people are allowed to have preferences. People in the VTubing scene, both fans and VTubers alike, routinely say with no backlash that they don't want to watch male VTuber models. They would rather see a female VTuber model. And no one gets backlash for that. But someone has this preference that we've been talking about, and all of a sudden now they're getting dragged by you and your audience. It just seems very weird to me, and it sounds like you're sensitive, and it basically, this whole post hit a nerve with you. And really, it's just not a good look. And then, of course, doing the block post, which just, again, shows that you're being sensitive about this. And you should just respect someone's preferences and the content that they consume. It's really not that deep. But anyways, our original poster here would actually clarify about some exceptions. And I made the cut, boys. Yeah, you'll love to see it. But there's some really good names on here, by the way. I am not the only person this applies to. When I saw that post, it wasn't about me. I knew that I was one of the people that it could apply to, but I know there's a lot of VTubers out there with female models and male voices. I am not unique in that regard, and there's a lot of them who make really good content. You better believe that when I see a video or a new rant from someone like Absolute Unit, I'm going to listen to it because they are very entertaining. And, you know, guys, this is like the perfect encapsulation of a doctor girlfriend voice situation, okay? And by the way, don't act like the voice would be too much for you when it comes to doctor girlfriend, okay? Let's be honest with ourselves. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation. A lot of discussion about this topic, but it's obviously very interesting and personal to me. And again, people are allowed to have preferences, and I like to have a chance like this to explain some of the reasoning behind my model, because I've hinted at it on places like my streams before, but I've never really gotten a solid video dedicated to this sort of stuff. So yeah, that's the full lore and the reasoning and the backlash that I've gotten because of this model. But again, thank you guys for any support you give to this new winter merch drop. Again, the pinned comment will have the link so you guys can check that out. And it's always a pleasure working with UwuMarket. But I appreciate you guys also listening to this video. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.